Can you talk a little bit about the import of the insurance man and why that's important at the literacy, at the intersection of Black culture and literacy?
I'll try to. Guess if I'm going to try to answer that question by thinking about what I would say if I were still that child responding to what I think you're asking. And so I think I would say something like, who is this white man coming to our house with this suitcase, with this three-piece suit on, with this tie on, knocking on our door, going from door to door, trying to sell something that most Black people in this community probably can't afford. Why is it that I have to answer the door, or my brother has to answer the door, and we're so resistant to letting the stranger who doesn't look like us and does not live in this community into our house? And then as an adult, I would say that looking at this white man come into this space, this Black space that was our home place, as bell hooks would say, trying to sell us something and trying to read it to us, my parents and my brothers and myself, without really thinking or believing that we can understand what he was trying to sell us, left a nasty taste in my mouth around a particular type of literacy that had everything to do with race and nothing to do with Black people's rights, in my opinion. So I think I hold on to that particular moment because it's just this example of someone entering into a space that they're not familiar with in order to try to sell something, but not calling it an act or an event of literacy. But in fact, that's what it was. And so I start with him because he's just so vivid in my mind, and I think this is the first time I've ever talked about him in relation to my reading and writing practices. And so I'm just still trying to make sense out of that moment and that space of having him enter that space, but then after he has sold his policy, he's leaving that space and he's taking his power and privilege with him. And we're left with this long document that we may or may not fully understand.